What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to, I can't believe it, week 9. It is time for early bets, survivor plays, and things you should fire on right now into the NFL weekend. He is Pat Fitzmaurice. I am Matt Perrault. Pat, 18, 3-1. That was the number for favorites and overs in week number 8. Crazy week. The books did not do well. The public did very well. Bankrolls are rich and happy today. How are you as we head to week 9? Same old as last week, or are we getting into kind of an upset week in your mind this week?
Oh, boy. Well, I hope we don't get the same as last week, Matt, because I believe the average margin of victory was over 18 points. We did not get a lot of photo finishes. It was not a real thrilling week of action. I mean, it was an interesting week. I think the cream kind of rose to the top. The playoff, the teams that can go deep into the playoffs kind of showed it. The Eagles, the Bills, the Packers all had these convincing victories. And I think it sorted out some of the pretenders, the Patriots, and of course the Colts. I don't want to give the Colts short shrift either, but we did see some of the teams with winning records that maybe weren't all that great fall by the wayside. The Falcons, the Cowboys. So yeah, it was a real interesting week in sort of what happened. The games themselves, not that interesting.
So how this works, guys, we give you 3 bets that we like for this coming week. We give you 1 play you should fire on right now and a survivor pick, and regardless of what you have available, we'll tell you what we think you should use if you have it available, but obviously we don't know the path you have used for survivor. If you are in the Circa Survivor and still alive, congratulations, because you are one of 2,000 entries that are left of the 18,000 plus that started for $18.7 million because, like you mentioned, the Falcons, ouch, and the Bengals, ouch, taking down pretty much half the field that was remaining here in Las Vegas for the biggest survivor pool. So we'll give you some thoughts as to if you are still alive in your own personal survivor pool, how can you use the roster today? But bet number 1 for you, Pat. What do you like this week?
I like the 49ers getting 2.5 at the New York Giants. And Matt, I don't love betting West Coast teams playing early afternoon games on the East Coast, but I am making an exception here. I like the spot for the 49ers. They have the taste of blood in their mouths coming off that disappointing loss to the Texans. And there's a good chance they get quarterback Brock Purdy back from turf toe this week. They could get wide receiver Ricky Pearsall back too. Both of them are expected to be evaluated on Wednesday, and we'll know more about their status then. But I just think the Cam Scatterbo injury is such a soul crusher for the Giants. Not only was he a very good running back, he was the team mascot. Like, Cam Scatterbo was becoming such an essential part of the Giants team identity. There's this big hole without him, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants kind of crumbled the week after losing Scatterbo to that grotesque ankle injury. So the Giants are bad against the run. Their cornerbacks are suspect. Their best wide receiver is Wan'Dale Robinson. I just think the 49ers are the far better team. And coming off that loss, I expect a better showing from the 49ers.
I would agree. And look, I was on the Niners. I had teased them up. That interception that Mac Jones threw in the end zone burned 2 bets. I was on the over 41.5. The game fell 41. I needed them to hit that field goal to cover, to wind up losing by 8 and not losing by 11. So it was a frustration for me to watch Mac Jones in the fourth quarter, and I think the Niners would agree. So I think Brock Purdy coming back is a big deal. I also think, and I'm with you on this, that the Niners feel like, even with all their injuries, that they are still a playoff / Super Bowl contender. And they need to beat the Giants because the Texans game was one they could have had, and it got away from them. And the Giants are so banged up. Brian Daboll is, look, I'm on the under 5.5 wins for the Giants because I didn't think Brian Daboll would make it to either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I'm still on that opinion that I think the guy might be out as as a fired coach in the NFL, given what's happening. Sure, he can use the excuses of what's happening with the injuries, but it's a rookie. It's Kyle Shanahan against a rookie quarterback. And it's Robert Saleh, who's doing a really good job with that defense against a rookie quarterback without any weapons. So I'm surprised it's only 2.5, to be quite honest. Yep. I mean, that's a number that I think climbs as the week. So I think under 3 is a really good look. I'm going to do something that I never do. And that's going to recommend a double-digit favorite because I hate laying big numbers. But until the Titans show me anything, until they show that they actually are interested in playing football, Over the last 2 years, they've covered a grand total of 4 times. This team does not cover. They lose and they get annihilated. And now they have a Charger team that needs it coming off of a bye. Give me the Chargers. I'll lay the 10 points. It's not an in-depth handicap. It's not some, great number play. It's not some look at the scheme. This is just the Titans stink. On every level, they completely and totally stink. And the Chargers need this game. Are you comfortable laying 10?
I am. I just saw that stat about the Titans being 4-21 against the spread in their last 25 games. And I can't remember if I saw that before or after the Colts game last week that they did not cover in, Matt.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, which is pretty remarkable considering that, your Vegas is going to adjust for you. If the market will adjust for you, and yet you're still underperforming the market every time. I totally get it. I'm with you. Plus, the Chargers get an extra rest advantage having played on Thursday night last week.
Oh, right. Sorry. The extra rest, not the bye. Sorry, but it's an extra rest. So it's a mini bye that they're coming off of. But I think if you look at the Chargers and they see what's coming with the KC Chiefs, you can't feel comfortable going, like the Chiefs are the Chiefs again. So we got to go and focus, and we got to go and play our best football the rest of the way. And we play a bad team. I know they're on the road, but we play a bad team. We got to take care of business, run the football, keep it away. Cam Ward is, we'll see how his rookie year ends, but so far it's been kind of a C+ type performance in his rookie year. But again, they fired his head coach got fired. So that's a tough deal. So guys are playing for jobs. I think guys are looking elsewhere. I'll lay the 10 points with the Chargers here in a big win on the road in Nashville. Bet number 2 for you, Pat. Where are you going?
We're going right back to the 49ers-Giants game, Matt. I also like 49ers-Giants under. I know the Giants' defense is bad. I know the 49ers' defense is banged up. And coming off a pretty poor performance against the Texans, they were the first team to let C.J. Stroud throw for 300-plus yards all season. But I think Robert Saleh is going to rally the troops after the poor showing against Houston. And you talked about it a second ago, Matt, and Jackson Dart, a rookie quarterback going against Robert Saleh. And Dart has been really impressive for the Giants, very resourceful. But it's not sort of like pick apart a defense the way Drake May is doing. He's not that kind of young quarterback. He's kind of fly by the seat of his pants. One read, if it's not there, take off and run. I think that sort of style might have a shelf life to it. And I think the shelf life might be running out. So Dart was already short on pass catchers, and now he's lost his bell cow running back in Cam Scatterbo. So I like this game to go under, and I especially like the under on the Giants team total of 22.5. So game under 40 or under the total 48.5. I'm betting the narrative on this game. I see the Giants losing decisively in kind of a slog. I see something like, I don't know, Giants 28-10 or something, or 49ers 28-10.
I see your point. I do. And I do think this Giant offense is going to have a difficult time moving the football against an angry 49ers team. The injuries is the only concern I've got, just because they are so banged up, and, with no Fred Warner and no Nick Bosa, it's they just have so many key injuries, but they've had the next man up mentality all year long. And I think after the loss last week, I do think Robert Saleh is going to be in these guys' ear all week long to get them ready for this game, saying, guys, we have to win this game. We can't allow a team like the Giants to push us around and run the football, because really what's left to do, there's no Cam Scatterbo, but what's left to do for the Giants? They aren't going to have Jackson Dart drop back 35 times and throw the football. So it's going to be about a running game, and that just plays right back into your narrative for the under. It's like the game plan for the Giants should feed right into it. And if Brock Purdy is coming back, Ricky Purcell coming back is big, but that passing attack still is lacking. And you've got Christian McCaffrey. And what are you going to do with Christian McCaffrey? You're going to run the football or you give him screenplays. So that also keeps the clock rolling and plays towards the under. So I like your play. I like your play with the under. I'm not overthinking things this week. I'm not going crazy. I'm not going to go in depth. I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, look at all these different trends. I'm going to lay the 3 points with Indianapolis on the road up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I get it. We're going to see back-to-back Mike Tomlin home dog trend days, right? That might be gone after what just happened to the Packers. That defense stinks, Pat. They stink. And I can't believe how bad they are. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers does. I don't care what DK Metcalf does. They still can't really run the football either. But They can't stop anybody. I don't know where TJ Watt has been. They've got injuries again in the secondary. They look old. Ramsey looks like he's playing for the retirement home. I don't know what to make of Pittsburgh going forward, except that the Ravens are favored to win the division for a reason. But I got Jonathan Taylor playing at a ridiculous level, looking to run the football, and then Daniel Jones to be able to play action and play off of it. It's not a big number. I'll lay the 3. I like Indy to go into Pittsburgh and give the Steelers back-to-back home dog losses, which is a rarity in a season for Mike Tomlin. But give me the Colts. Where are you on Colts Steelers?
Jordan Love completed 20 straight passes against this Pittsburgh defense, and the Packers sort of gave Josh Jacobs a rest in that second half and let Emmanuel Wilson run over this defense. So what do you think Jonathan Taylor is going to do? Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be with you on this one, Matt, but like normally I would love the spot with Pittsburgh coming off a bad home game, staying at home and getting like the revenge bounce back game at home. But like, whereas normally that would be an automatic Steelers bet for me, I'm not betting Steelers either because I think this team might just be that bad. And
I think the offense is bad too.
Yeah, Rodgers'
defense is bad, but the offense is bad too.
Aaron Rodgers does not want to get hit. Like anytime the Steelers had 3rd and long that game, he was more concerned about where Micah Parsons was than where his receivers were. So like that ball control style can work. I think it works better against lesser opponents, and the Colts are not a lesser opponent.
No, there's a lot of momentum in Indianapolis. Their defense is a bit better than people think. Shane Steichen's got these guys, flying around, and I think everyone's going to tell them all week that, okay, Pittsburgh is the side because Pittsburgh lost last week, and they're going to be ferociously mad, and here comes TJ Watt and company. I'm sorry, Cam Hayward and TJ Watt, you pay him a lot of money to go out there and be game wreckers, and Jordan Love sat back there like he was having a cup of coffee. Like he was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, 20 consecutive completions is ridiculous. I know Jordan Love's good. I know Matt LaFleur's a good offensive coordinator. I know the team runs an offense that's difficult to stop, but 20 completions in a row? Oh boy.
Unreal.
Not good. Number 3 for you. Where are you going this week?
Ravens, Dolphins, Thursday night, under 50.5 points, Matt.
Interesting.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is expected back with the Ravens from his hamstring injury, but are we going to get Lamar at 100%, running around for big chunk gains, scrambling around to buy time for his pass catchers, or do the Ravens just sort of lean on Derrick Henry against a really bad Miami run defense, chew the clock with that ground game? And as banged up as the Ravens defense has been, it's getting healthier. They're not getting Nnamdi Madubuike back, but they're getting a lot of their other players back or have gotten them back in the last week. And the Ravens just held the Bears to 16 points. And yes, the Dolphins offense clicked against the Falcons last week. I'm not all that confident Tua can play 2 straight good games. Plus, Matt, a Thursday night game, sometimes offenses are a little out of whack in the Thursday night games. I just think 50.5 points is way too tall.
I like it. I think it's because of where the Ravens are. I don't know what the Ravens are at the moment. And so I think when it comes to the offense, protecting Lamar at all costs is going to be what the Ravens are going to do. They lied on the injury report trying to keep people off Lamar as to what exactly has been going on with him. And so Snoop comes in and plays really well, but now you have Lamar back. I think you're absolutely right. I doubt we're going to see him doing 7-step drops and asking him to run around with the potential of re-injuring that hamstring because, well, look at the division. It's open right now for the Ravens. They have a very easy schedule for the next 5 weeks. They will be favored in all 5 weeks going forward. And if they go 5-0, this team will be in first place. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the Ravens handle the next month and a half. And so protecting Lamar and using Henry, I think you're completely right. I just need that defense to wake up. I just need the Ravens defense. What the heck has been going on with the Ravens defense? This was their strength going into the year. 5 first-round picks in the secondary. What are we doing? How are you allowing teams to move the ball on you?
And they did look bad against the Bears early in that game, but then they kind of rallied a little bit and got it together and improved. So I'm hoping that sticks. Do you like either side in that game, Matt?
I mean, in terms of a number, no, because it's 7.5. I do think you could money line parlay this, though. Same game tease this rather. That this is, to me, I think you're right. I think you take it from 51 and you tease it up to 57.5 and go under. And you take the Ravens from 7.5 and you tease it down to 1.5 and you take Baltimore. So I think that's the way I'll approach this. I'm not interested in laying 7.5 points, but again, last week it didn't matter. It was all favorites. Now, is there a big revenge from the books coming? I mean, you thought last week was really hookalicious. This week it's even worse. I mean, Detroit's laying 8.5 points to Minnesota. Green Bay is laying 13 to Carolina. I mean, there are some real, the Rams are 13 or 14-point favorites against New Orleans. The books didn't like last week. The books are making you pay.
The Dolphins were really like the only dog that kind of came through last week. And
the Jets.
They certainly, and the Jets. The Dolphins certainly tripped us up.
Yep.
But like, I thought that was going to be their wave the white flag game. I mean, maybe that comes this week, but I don't know. It's ever since that blowout loss to the Colts in week 1, the Dolphins have really only had one non-competitive game. Like it's not, a lot of people have said they've quit on Mike McDaniel. I don't think they've quit on him at all. So
fair.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe we get a competitive game, but I just don't think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, once the quarterback change came down, I was off the Falcons. I dropped that game. I was like, okay, I'm not betting that game because of the quarterback. I did not think Kirk Cousins would look that bad. I didn't think the Falcons would be that ugly on offense against that Dolphins team that just completely dominated. Finally, for me, I'm going to Sunday night, KC against the Bills. This number is creeping up everywhere. You can find it at ESPN Bet at 51.5 at the time of taping, or Hard Rock Bet at 52 at the time of taping. Everybody else, it's over. I think this thing goes as high as 54 for the Chiefs and the Bills before we hit the resistance point between these two teams. But I watched the Bills. I watched the Chiefs. I know what that Bills defensive line cannot do, and that's stop the run. And I think there is massive play action opportunities for Patrick Mahomes and company to pick up big plays, to get the running game with Pacheco and Hunt going, and then play action and go over the top to the weapons that they've got. I think that Bills defense is in trouble. I think they're going to give up big points to Kansas City. And on the flip side, that means the Bills have to score and keep pace. Give me the over 52 for the Bills and the Chiefs coming up on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and Ed Oliver, key piece of the Bills defense, he tore his biceps on Sunday, so they're not going to have him. That's a big loss. I don't know if the Bills are going to get Daquan Jones or Matt Milano back this week. Those guys were both out in week 8. So, I mean, the Chiefs, they have their issues up front too, with no Josh Simmons and possibly no Trey Smith, who's got a back issue. But I think we are going to get points in this game. So I'm with you here.
Yeah, and the Bills need it. I mean, as a Patriot fan, go KC. Go get that W and see what the Patriots, because the Pats have got a game at home that they should absolutely win coming up this week. And I'll be very curious to see how the Patriots are going to deal with the success that they have had, because they just, I mean, Atlanta coming in after what they looked like last week. Patriots are big favorites, 5.5, 6-point favorites. They can get a W at home. The Pats will be 7-2. If the Bills lose, the Patriots will have a 1.5 game lead on the Bills in the AFC East, which is nuts. At the halfway point in the season, the Patriots are up by more than a game on the Buffalo Bills for the race.
If someone could have told you that in week 1 after the Patriots lost to the Raiders and the Bills knocked off the Ravens,
yeah, you'd be like, come on. Yeah, please. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's a homer take, Matt. You can't say that. Well, look what's going on. It's pretty remarkable. Guys, track your bets and stay accountable and level up by downloading the BettingPros app. With Sportsbook Sync, automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users can get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free with their first deposit and wager at one of our partner sportsbooks. Learn more at bettingpros.com/premium. All right, for Survivor, obviously we don't know, guys, what you have available, but in case you have these teams available, where are you going for Survivor this week, Pat?
Oh, I mean, we both like the Chargers here, don't we, Matt? I mean, they're one of your best bets, and just pick on the Titans, right? Like, it's only backfired once this season, and that was because the Cardinals completely shot themselves in the they shot themselves in the foot like 3 times. So I guess the other teams you could consider, if you didn't play the Packers at home against the Bengals in week 6, you could play them at home against the Panthers. Like the Packers do have this bad habit of playing with their food and not decisively beating the teams they should beat decisively. In fact, that was kind of the case with the Bengals in week 6, but the Panthers don't have a quarterback who can solve the Packers defense. It's hard to imagine the Packers losing to the Panthers in Green Bay. And I think you could play the Rams against the Saints, especially if the Saints give rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck his first NFL start.
On the road, Sean McVay. Yeah. I mean, the Rams, I think, are going to be the number one pick because I think a lot of people are keeping the Rams they've been holding on to the Rams for a game like this. So I think you will see a lot of people on the Rams. Obviously, the Chargers are going to be the other very popular selection coming up this week as well. I'll be curious to see if people are going to use the Lions this week. Is this the week that they use Detroit? It is a divisional game, so I'd recommend not doing that. But the dumpster fire that's the Vikings currently, maybe this is a good spot to take the Lions because, okay, here comes J.J. McCarthy, but are they high on JJ? He was the emergency quarterback the last 2 weeks. Have they been hiding him? Has he been healthy and just they don't trust him? And so now they've got, they put Carson Wentz out there and broke his shoulder. And so there's a lot of problems going on right now in Minnesota. So I think you could potentially use the Vikings, but I'm with you. I think we're looking at the Rams being a very popular pick. I would use the Chargers if you have the Chargers available. If you burn both of those options, I think you could look at maybe Detroit as an option as well. I would be careful with Baltimore. I think people are going to want to use the Ravens. I'd be careful with them just because I think you're right. I think Miami is a little bit, better than people think, and they're fighting at the moment for Mike McDaniel. So I would be a little concerned about using the Ravens with Lamar coming back because we just assume the Ravens are going to turn it around. What if they don't? like what if they lose this game because it's a short week and Lamar coming back and he plays poorly, he turns the ball over and whatnot. So be a little careful about using that Thursday night game. I've heard people say to use Thursday with the Ravens. I'd be a little careful with that. Guys, today's show is being brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. Roll with Hard Rock Bet for a huge week of sports this week. The NBA is back. You got baseball, game 4 tonight. Hockey, what a time of the year to be a better new customer. You place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you not only get your winnings, but also $150 in bonus bets. Want to see what everyone else is betting tonight? You guys can go and check it out with Hard Rock Bet. They literally show you what everyone's betting. Another reason why to download the app just for the information. Tap Discover, and you can see trending picks and parlays at any time. Hard Rock Bet offers daily promos as well as what's going on tonight for Game 4. There's new promos every day. So if you're listening to this thing later, you just open up the app and check out what you've got any day of the week. Check out the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app and make your first deposit today. All right, for a bet you would lock in right now, Pat, what would it be? What would you fire on here on Tuesday?
I want the Bills catching 1.5 against the Chiefs. Matt, this game opened at what? Like Bills minus 2.5, but apparently the Chiefs are public darlings now more than ever. We got an early 4-point move towards the Chiefs, and maybe part of that was the the news, I guess, that Ed Oliver had torn his biceps. So again, big loss for sure. Although I worry about it a little less against a team like the Chiefs. It doesn't have a real powerful running game. I mean, they run just to keep the defense off balance. Like they are about the forward pass. I don't think the Bills should be a home underdog to anyone. And Patrick Mahomes has owned the Bills in the playoffs. He's 4-0 against them in the postseason. Hasn't ever lost to them in the playoffs, but in the regular season, Mahomes is 1-4 against the Bills all time. And the Bills do have a rest advantage. The Chiefs are going on the road and playing on a short week after a Monday night game. So yeah, I guess you can make me a capo in the Bills Mafia for a week. I'm going to take them as a home dog, and I'm going to join you in playing this game over as well.
Yeah, I think I like the over better, but I'm with you on offense because I don't like the Bills' defense. So I do think the Bills' offense needs to move the ball, and I think Josh Allen. Look, it's primetime Josh Allen. Okay, he is 8-0 now after a loss rather. So they're coming off a dominant win over the Panthers, a win on the road, and look, they know what has to happen for them in going through Kansas City. The Patriots are an awesome story. They're ahead of schedule. I don't think anybody really thinks that they're going to be, come playoff time, a roadblock for either the Chiefs or the Bills. And these two teams, with what's going on with the Ravens, these two teams feel like they're on a collision course for another AFC championship game for a right to go to the Super Bowl. Bills are going to need to protect home field. They've already had their hiccup at home. They lost to the Patriots at home. They've had their, their one bad game. Can't have another one. They absolutely need. Casey doesn't need this. Look at the division. Like, Chargers don't worry you. The Raiders are god awful, and the Broncos are still trying to figure out who exactly they are. So, I mean, if the Chiefs play the way the Chiefs are capable of, they should beat the division games and win the division. Bills have a much different conversation going on around them at the moment, given what's going on with the Patriots. So I'm with you on that. I would fire on the Chargers. I don't want this thing going to 10.5 to 12 to 13. I think as the week progresses, it's just going to balloon as more people find out about that trend, about their points, about what has happened against the number for the Titans. I'm just concerned this number is going to be 13.5 by kickoff. So I'd want it at 10. And I take it now because I would be surprised if we see a game in which we don't see a Charger win by double digits. It's just, I don't know if it's by 10, 11, 12, 13. I would hate it if they win by 13 points and we don't cover because it was 13.5. So I want the early number with the Chargers minus 10.
I do think that one is going to move eventually. I don't think it stays at 10. I agree it goes higher than that probably.
Yeah, I think the pros, once the limits open up, I think the pros are going to come in and hammer it. We're already at 10.5 at FanDuel. ESPN bets at 9.5. So, you can, and there's been some movement. There's been some movement on the Titans here, but the vast majority of the bets and the vast majority of the money, and it's Tuesday, so it's only pro money coming in, is on the Chargers laying 10. So you even get under, you get 9.5 at ESPN bet and at Hard Rock bet at the moment. So you can find a better number out there. Guys, if you have not downloaded Pick Tracker, check it out. You can track all your bets in one place with the BettingPros Pick Tracker. It syncs up with your sports books to tally picks that you make, which miss and which hit. Plus, it gives you a live look at what the public is doing, and you can use real-time tracking data to determine which plays to make and which plays to fade. Track your picks today with BettingPros, the Pick Tracker at bettingpros.com/tracking or on the BettingPros app. All right. Any final thoughts as we head off into week number 9 in the NFL?
Matt, I wanted to take the Bengals as home dogs to the Bears, but we don't know if Trey Hendrickson is going to play. He sort of got slammed from behind in that game against the Jets, and he's questionable with a hip injury. Like, I love the Bengals getting 2.5 at home if Hendrickson plays, but if not, that defense is just a complete disaster, and the Bears probably will beat them convincingly. So that's one thing I'm going to be watching and trying to jump on any Trey Hendrickson news to play that game one way or the other.
For me, it's Seattle against Washington. Mike McDonald is a complete genius on the road. They can't win home games, but they're dominant on the road. And Washington looked really bad last night. We'll see what Jaden Daniels looks like in terms of whether he's becoming able to come back or not. The number being 3.5, I don't think you got to fire on it early. That's why I didn't put it on there. But it was 2.5 at open. The first move was to 3.5. I think that number just will climb as the week goes. And once we find out about Jaden Daniels, I think you might see a 4 or a 5 pop in. So if you get any injury news on Jaden Daniels, you may want to fire on Seattle quickly. But the numbers are crazy for the Seattle head coach on the road. He's one of the best road coaches in the NFL. Small number. I like Seattle on the road against Washington, but I want to watch that number and watch what happens with Jaden Daniels.
And 3.5 suggests that Daniels is not expected back, right? Typically, a hamstring is not a 1-week injury. So,
yeah, he may be out for longer.
Yeah,
so we'll recap that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Washington offense was completely stuck in the mud with Mariota in Kansas City on Monday night.
Yeah, and I like Seattle's defense a lot. So, and then Sam Darnold's played pretty well. So that's the other game I would watch just from a number perspective is taking Seattle up against Washington. He is Pat Fitzmaurice. I'm Matt Perrault. We are back next week every Tuesday. You guys hear us early picks, plays, Survivor, and more. Hope to see you back here next week for another edition of this on the Betting Pros YouTube channel.